good morning.
Good morning to you, brother.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm blessed, and I'm here.
We are here. So are you. So thank you all for joining us. Wade and Carter Show live from the South Texas TV studios.
Beautiful, spacious.
I'm Ash. He's Brent.
Palatial. All is well.
Mansion-like.
Had to come in. I got here a few minutes before Ash, and I said, I'll go up and get everything tuned up, and I did. It was all good. Had a little software glitch, and I'm glad that he came in and it wasn't something I had done.
No, it was not.
And we had to restart the whole
process.
program.
So you coming up here and
really was just a waste of time.
it was a waste of time. You could have slept in another 5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5 minutes in the morning is precious. If you don't think it is, why do people hit snooze?
I never do.
Do you not?
No.
I had a roommate in college, and at the time wasn't a suite mate. It was a roommate. Like there were two single beds. Yep. And I had warned him. that look, you can hit snooze once, but this was a dude that his alarm would go off at 6:30, and then he would finally get up at 7 after about 5 snoozes. And about the third day, I hit snooze for him. Wham! And
that was it?
That clock was no mas. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, hey, set it for when you want to get up and get up. That's pretty much what
Yeah.
Dawn and I do, just in case we end up drifting back. It's not like there's any big-time amorous. Like, we don't sit at 20 minutes early, and giggle at each other. No. It's set for when we need to get up, and then we hit snooze in case one of us falls back to sleep.
I understand.
The alarm clock is not foreplay at Casa Carter.
No. When I was in college, I used to set the alarm and have it across my room. So I had to get out of bed to shut it off.
Genius. I mean, smart.
It was.
And did you notice how over time you would wake up about 30 seconds before the alarm clock and just get up because
I used to be able to tell myself, okay, you're going to get up at like 7. You're going to get up at 7. I didn't need an alarm clock. Now I need an alarm clock.
I can do that when I'm fishing. I can do that for the show. I can't do it for work. Oh, it'll be okay. It'll be there. Nobody really wants to talk to me anyway.
So that was your morning.
Yeah. I can depress myself. It's like I can just be like, I'm going to sleep in. Nobody wants to talk insurance. I'm just like the Maytag guy. You only need me when something goes wrong.
That's the only time we need you.
There you go. How about the Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed?
Stop on by.
Yeah.
They got everything you need. Liquid feed right now. If you have questions, you want to figure out what you can do, how you do it for start a liquid feed program, they can help you out with all of that because of
good to see you.
This time right now, it's, your cattle are a little stressed. The heat's stressing them. So they've got a 32% protein and 3% fat. So just call the store. They can set it up, delivery and all that. But really, really good for right now, especially with the drought and grasses not really being much as far as nutrients.
Yep. 78 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of only 99. So they're giving, and then, by the way, not projected Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday to be over 100. Every day is in the mid-70s to the high 90s.
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
Summer
ain't over yet.
I watched that show last night. Kendall's in town. Our oldest, Kendall is in town. And Dawn and I and Kendall and Marvin were laying around the living room doing nothing, having a Sunday slum day, just slumbering around. And we got on Shark Tank. We watched Shark Tank over and over and over. There was a guy on there who had a thing called, Life Tabs, I think he called it. And it was a little bottle of pills. And he walked in and said, look, I've been taking these for 8 days. I haven't had anything else to eat. I take one in the morning, one at lunch, one at dinner. And it's a mix of this, a mix of that. I've got all my greens. I've got all my, proteins, yada, yada, yada. And it has an appetite suppressant. I'm not hungry. And Mark Cuban, you're just a snake oil salesman. Has it been approved by the FDA? And the guy goes, FDA approves drugs. It's not a drug. It's a supplement. On and on and on. And they just ran him out of there. And I thought to myself, so after that program was over, does one of the people that brings people in, did they get called on the carpet for letting this clown on the show? Or did they let him on just to hammer him? Did he probably get $50,000 for coming on
appearance fee
and getting hammered? Because they didn't even
you gotta
really
wonder,
make his pitch.
Well, yeah, you got to wonder because some of that's got to be made just for
TV,
entertainment
right?
TV purposes. Absolutely.
Said it's got a 5-year shelf life. And that one little guy, not Mr. Wonderful, but the other guy that kind of looks like a frat boy,
Yeah.
he just goes, well, I'm just trying to make money. So let's say that I sell it. I sell it once. I put it on the shelf. I wait for the apocalypse for when I don't have food. He goes, you're not selling it as a diet drug. You're selling it as a, hey, if you don't have food. He was saying if there's an emergency, you could fly over and parachute cases of this down and people could sustain on it. And he goes, well, that's great, but who's going to buy it?
The same people that are now buying dehydrated meals and waiting in 3 months supplies.
And I was going to joke and say Maui, but did you see this deal over the weekend where, like, the mayor, they have a little different setup over there because it's, in a lot of ways, it's like the Native Americans. There's some religious issues involved in Hawaii, and they have their traditional names for things. Our Ilioli are buried here, and our Oiwai, this is where we worship, and that kind of stuff. They have some really interesting traditional things. And the lady there said, you will not take our land. And apparently there's a move being made in part by the federal government to say, some of this is just such a disaster area, we're just going to take it over. No, you're not, the Hawaiians are saying. You're not taking over this part of our country.
We've mismanaged it to this point. We're going to continue to mismanage it.
And but from a states' rights standpoint, it's ours to mismanage. You know, get out of here. The feds act like they're doing them a favor. We're going to take this $80 billion worth of oceanfront real estate. Boy, Trump gets reelected, there'll be a golf course there on a lava flow. Instead of an island green, it'll be like a green on moving lava. This whole place 178, 80, 190, 194.
Stimp meter on this one's off the charts. It's smooth as glass because it is now.
Green slopes to the left. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Green slopes to the right.
It's hardened up.
Some places you just can't be, Ash.
It is glass now.
Crazy.
Speaking of which, Victor Hovland wins the Tour Championship, the FedEx Cup, and like an $18 million bonus.
Now, where did he start?
I don't know.
Deal? You know, Jim Nantz really got called on the carpet over the weekend. He made the comment, it's not about the money, it's about the competition. And some people started saying, well, when you let the guy who's in first start off at 10 under, it's not a golf tournament, it's a charade. It's absolutely about the $18 million. I mean, that's a game changer, folks. Yeah. You're Victor Hovland, you're a good player. You're a top 10 probably in the world player.
Scott Tomko says there's no hitting out of a lava trap.
Right?
Absolutely. Brent going in. Scott Snow, good morning. Kerry Bump. Junior Sample says he's going to start calling early just to talk to Brent about his feelings.
Right? Yeah, you swing in, and just nothing but shaft comes out because it just melts the head of your club.
The club off. Greg Garcia, good morning. Dottie Bitterly, Matt O'Shea, Diane Tippett, Ricky King, Bobcat Watley, Jarrett McCrugan, good morning. Will Vincent, Tammy Keeling, Rena Scherer, Christina Wise, Jordan Glass, Bobby Leister checking in, Patricia Nagel, good morning, Stuart Martin, Marvin Mickus, Judge Posey, good morning, everybody. Glad you're all joining us. If you live in the Northcrest, kind of your neck of the woods, and I meant to tell you this when we called, but our friend Brett Baldwin, his dog got out, and he's running around that area, black lab, green collar, so if you see him last spotted at Ball Airport and Millette.
Oh, that's right there.
Right by your place.
Yeah, that's right by my place.
Anyway, just wanted to put that out there.
T-Lat, on your way home, be looking for that black lab. If you do grab it, it'll be a friendly dog if it's Brett Baldwin's.
Terry Bump, good morning.
It'll be a very conservative dog. If you see it, grab the conservative right-wing dog. Yeah. Ask a lot of questions.
He won't take any food that's not his or meant for him.
That's right. Throw him in the car. See Brent going there. Good morning, buddy.
Astros update brought to you by the fine folks. First State Bank Louise. They don't send any decisions off to Phoenix to some decision-making center. Everything's locally done.
There you go. They can say no right here.
That's right. They can, but
they don't.
Probably won't.
A lot of times they help folks, small businesses.
They're one of the few right now making loans on land.
Individuals. Astros update would be this. The Astros the other night got beat 17-1. Worst defeat ever. Gave up like 22 hits. And then they come out and they win their, last three?
Yeah, they swept Detroit, I believe.
Swept Detroit. Justin Verlander at home, where he really became Justin Verlander, in Detroit yesterday. Collected his 100th win. He joins Sammy Kershaw Clayton Kershaw and one other guy, somebody Wright, a pitcher named Wright,
David Wright,
as the only Gary Wright, Dreamweaver, as the only 3 active pitchers with 100 wins in one stadium. So Verlander picked up his 99th win. In the same game, Miguel Cabrera, who's making his farewell lap, he's admitting that he's retiring. He hit his 510th home run, 3,151 hits for Cabrera. You think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man. So it was really, if you're a baseball guy, Verlander's on the mound. It's his second time to pitch back in Detroit this season. And the stands were smattered with Verlander jerseys, many Detroit Verlander jerseys. And as he took the mound in the bottom of the first, a rousing standing ovation. Just shows the appreciation. Number one, they have an educated fan base. And number two, the appreciation they have for his toils there. But Verlander goes on the mound, and when Cabrera came up to bat, the Latin players are very formal about certain things, and Cabrera stopped and tipped his cap to JV, and Verlander returned same. And it was like...
and then struck him out.
And I'll tell you what he did to him, too, folks. He did what you would expect him to do. Power pitcher, power hitter. He threw him a fastball. Cabrera fouled it off. He threw him another fastball. Cabrera fouled it off. There was a runner on first. He threw him a high one for a ball. The runner on first gets off, and I'm convinced now Verlander only did this to set the stage. He made a pickoff move to first. Bottom of the first inning, home run hitter on, why? He ain't going nowhere.
No.
Comes back set, comes right over the top again. Cabrera's expected fastball, threw him the bender, 78 miles an hour. Hey, yeah. And the umpire just goes, huh. And Cabrera laughed and walked back to the dugout.
He had him.
Froze him. And
then he hit his 510th career home run later on
off
in the
someone
game.
else. So Verlander leads the game. It's 3-0. He's struck out 9. Great Verlander. He's Verlander. He's back. Astros go on a batting practice deal, 25 hits. They win the game 17-4. A couple of meaningless home runs late. I heard Dawn from the other room, Montero. We're only up 2 touchdowns. This could go south in a hurry. But the Astros just completely dominate. Now, what's interesting
Well, we lost the first one to the Tigers, I forgot, on Friday. So we took 2 of 3.
Not rare.
That ain't going to get it done, though, folks.
First time I've seen it, Alex Bregman came out and said, we're playing playoff baseball right now. These are the playoffs. We've got 30 games left, and every game is now a must-win situation. He goes, we don't have to win them all. We're not going to win them all. But it's a must-win situation, and here's why. The Mariners...
26 out of 30 would be nice.
Well, it's probably not going to happen. But the Mariners have played 130 games, and they sit at the top of the American League West. The Astros and the Rangers have each played 132 games, and we both sit 1 game back. It's an interesting deal. They're 74-56. The Rangers are 73-57, and we're 74-58. So they've each played 130, and we played 132.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's like being down 2 points with 30 minutes to play. You just got to find a way to win some games.
Right now, the Rangers and the Astros hold on to those final 2 wild card spots.
My only other observation
What's interesting is, man, has the balance of power shifted that much in the American League? Because the AL East was the dominant division
forever
for much of this season.
Yeah.
And it really is a 2-division race because it's you're either in the East or in the West fighting for those final wild card spots. Nobody of the Central's coming. You got to win the Central.
Oh, yeah.
To make the playoffs because it's just a terrible division. And the Minnesota Twins running away with it with a whopping .519 winning percentage.
Who would have thought with that payroll the Yankees would be 19 games back in the East?
Yeah, they're the team that has really struggled. They are 6 games under, and you know what? It looks good on them. Not going to lie.
I don't like the
Astros update brought to you by the fine folks at First State Bank. Go see Lolly and Patricia and all the gang up there, and right there in the corner of where are they? Salem and John Stockbauer, and new location soon to be open in Sugar Land and all throughout the region. But the folks at First State Bank will take care of you and all your banking needs.
So Justin Verlander picks up his 254th win, moves him into a tie for 42nd with things I did not know. I did not know that Blackjack Morris had 254 wins. I knew Morris was dominant for a period. I didn't know he was that good of a pitcher. Also a Detroit Tiger.
Remember when 300 was the demarcation line for getting into the Hall of Fame as a pitcher? Not going to happen anymore. I think maybe 250 is that number.
I think it used to be the automatic number, like 3,000 hits, which I think 3,000 hits is still an automatic number. But, yeah, Red Farber's at 254. Andy Pettitte is next in Verlander's sights at 256. Somebody I think is a Hall of Famer because Andy Pettitte was straight up nails in the playoffs. Those 6 rings that Jeter won, Pettitte put 5 of them on his hand. And then Ted Lyons, who I don't have any idea, he's old school, 260 wins for him to be 40th all time. JV, no doubt.
And where's JV right now?
254.
So
tied for 42nd.
He won't get there this year.
No, shouldn't have 6 more starts. But to watch Verlander pitch to Cabrera was to watch Seaver pitch to Aaron. I mean, you're talking about 2, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Fame players. It was a great weekend. One other stat for
Dusty
you.
said it was like watching Bob Gibson face Hank Aaron.
There you go. That's a great, and he saw that live. Miguel Cabrera, just for the record, give you an idea, he's got a world championship. He's got 2 MVPs. He's a 12-time All-Star. He's a 7-time Silver Slugger. He's got 1,871 RBIs, 622 doubles, 510 homers, 3,151 home runs. They call him Miggy, and they begged him to come back. He did an interview before the game with Jose Altuve, who he really likes personally, and he said, I want to enjoy the game. I'm out with my health. I want to be able to watch this. He slapped him, watch this young man develop more. And speaking of, it's all relative. Altuve's not a young man. Look at Junior's got some Z's. Junior, you could learn so much if you just listen. But
B. Small says not to worry, the Rangers will tank.
Oh yeah, they will. You can call my voicemail.
Good to see you, B. Small.
I'm glad you're back. The other thing was Jeremy Pena yesterday had a 5-hit day. And he did say in the post-game interview with Julia, he said, I just want to point out that I got this done before Altuve. Because Altuve's never hit a 5-hit game.
Brian Small says this is an Astros diatribe, not an update.
There you go.
Kinda
well,
is.
it's
Judge Posey says current series could be a problem because we are in Boston to face the Red Sox, where the Mariners and,
tough offense.
And the Rangers both have basically nobody's to play.
Yeah. There. Yeah. So Astros update. Sorry for those of you that are bored. The show is predicated and built upon sports. We stay true to the brand.
It can evolve.
It could evolve. Yeah.
Kind of has evolved.
What are we talking
I'm looking
about?
to see who do we.
Politics is like wrestling. Yeah. It's fake. It's all fake.
Yeah, Rangers have the Mets in New York. That's probably 3 straight for the
Rangers.
For the Rangers.
Should win that.
Yeah, and then I'm looking to see where's the
Seattle's
Seattle
off today.
Oh, no, they've got Oakland at home.
They should win that.
Yeah, we think, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's baseball. Everybody's got paid players.
Yeah. Speaking of baseball, and you made a very good point regarding Shohei Ohtani.
Most expensive injury in the history of sports.
Yeah, fill everybody in who doesn't know what happened to Ohtani, because I kind of been not watching anything over the weekend until you told me this. I'm like, I had no idea.
Ohtani is diagnosed with a UCL. I don't know what is it,
ulterior cruciate ligament,
which means Tommy John surgery. It's time to operate on his elbow. He's a very young guy, 23,
somewhere in there.
Not
24.
old. And if he was a pitcher, you would put him on the shelf and you would do what you did with Justin Verlander 2 years ago. You'd operate, give him a year to rehab, and let him play. Or, in theory, he could quit pitching and just be a designated hitter. The problem is he's in a contract year. His value is a guy that pitches every fourth or fifth day and hits 300 with 40 home runs a year.
He's 29, by the way.
29. So you've got a
Spent
problem.
his formative years in the Japanese leagues.
You've got a problem because if you drop him back to only being a DH, while he may be the best DH in baseball, he ain't worth $600 million. And if you take a year off, no DHs, Babe Ruth ain't worth $600 million. So you take him off the shelf.
Here's what they're saying, though. And here's why he might still be worth that money. The Angels are making anywhere between $70 million and $100 million a year
merchandise
off of the marketing that they are able to generate and the deals that they are able to generate with firms, mostly Japanese.
Does that
just
dry
because
up?
Shohei Ohtani's playing there?
If he's not a two-way godlike figure, does that dry up? I mean, here's my deal. If I'm the GM,
I don't think so because he's hitting every 5 days or every 4 days, and then he pitches the fifth, right?
Yeah, but if I'm the he also hits when he pitches. If I'm the GM of the Angels, I did just say cha-ching because that's money in the bank for me.
He's waiting on a second opinion on the Tommy John's.
How do you want to be that doctor? Nah, you're good. Go pitch. Nah, you're all right. And his arm falls off out there flopping around. It is a really sad deal for me because I love the kid. I love his spirit. And I'm sitting there looking at it going, I really thought he was going to straight up break the bank. You and I had talked about even the legality of him owning a piece of the Angels, which would be the best way to pay him. And now if you fix him so he can pitch, then he does nothing next year. What's that going to cost him? What's that going to cost the Angels if they re-sign him? And if you don't fix him so he can pitch, he could be just an overpriced designated hitter. I think the ultimate show of good faith would be to get the second opinion. If you're making 60, 70, 100 million off of him in marketing alone, what you do is you pay him $150 million, whatever, pay him $100 million. Pending medical release and make him like your brand ambassador for a year. Because everybody would sign up to get the autograph, to get the picture, to get the signed jersey. Of course, he'd probably get carpal tunnel from. But at any rate,
what happens when he's got to have his arm immobilized? How is he going to be able to sign?
He just move his whole body like that. But what a deal. In another class move, so we'll see. We will monitor for you what the Angels do. What would you do? Would you sign the guy? I mean, would you tell him, gee, bummer, call us when you can play? I mean, that's baseball. Call us when you can play. We'll give you a tryout. See what the Cowboys did the other night in their preseason game. Yeah. Cowboys, who have made a bold statement, we ain't playing our starters. I ain't getting nobody hurt over a preseason game.
Which I've said for years, the NFL preseason really is meaningless except for guys trying to bust their way onto the bottom of the depth chart.
You were ahead of your...
I was ahead of my curve.
Brian Small says, thanks for monitoring that for us. I will do that, Brian. I'm back.
He doesn't trust you to be able to log on the interwebs, Brian, and
he can't
navigate over the L.A. Angels of Anaheim website.
No, he
check
can't
that out for yourself.
He still thinks that they're the California Angels.
Somehow he couldn't find us for the last 3 weeks, so we had to check on him to see where he was
up
dead.
Gene Autry. Cowboys in a really class move signed a kid. Or traded for a kid named Trey Lance.
Former number one pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was first round or first pick.
Yeah, was he like fourth overall or was he first overall pick? I don't remember.
First or second. No, second, not first. But the 49ers traded up to get him. Dallas had him on their radar, and they traded up to get him. He got hurt one year and didn't play and yada, yada. Anyway, they're saying, well, maybe he's a bust. Cowboys pick him up for not much.
4th rounder, I think, right?
And in a class gesture, said to Will Greer, former West Virginia quarterback, who was our QB3, hey, we're going to cut you after tonight because we picked up another guy. But the whole game is yours. Go show off. Go show them what you can do. And boy, did he.
Yeah.
And I realize it's just a preseason game. But everybody he was playing against, we're down to the final cuts. People were trying to make that club.
Well, and you're playing the Los LV Raiders. Hard to call them anything but
right.
LA or Oakland. But there were probably some guys on that field that are going to be starting on opening Sunday for the Raiders because the Raiders suck.
And he I don't have his stat line, but he only had maybe 3 or 4 incompletions. He threw the ball. He ran for a touchdown.
Ran for 2, I think.
I was joking with Lee Caballero, who's my go-to. He's my Bill Little. He's my guy about Cowboys football. I said, that guy looks like he ought to be at least QB2. And Lee said, no kidding. I think there's a chance this guy gets picked up, and that's a pretty class move by the Astros. They could have.
Torn Bale says they should cut Cooper.
Well, I don't get
by the
Cooper
Cowboys,
Rush
not
to be
the
gone.
Astros.
Yeah, Cooper Rush. Let him go.
I'm not.
I thought the kid looked great.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, it's one game. It's, But nice move by Stephen and Jerry Jones, and letting the kid play.
640 passing yards, 4 TDs, 2 interceptions, 64 of 84 in the 3 games that he played.
64 of 84 is pretty dang good. 75%.
Tough one. Calgary Stampeders should sign him. Go play in the CFL for a couple of years. Boy, could they use some help. Huh?
$50 a game and all the smokes you can have. Come on up to Calgary.
Like Canadian whiskey.
Right?
That's the bonus for quarterbacks. Nobody else in the league can get that.
Hey, Torrin, totally agree. Another key point by Torrin Bales. Good play calling by Dak. They let Dak be the offensive coordinator.
Let Dak call his own plays.
Remember
when quarterbacks used to do that? Kind of like catchers used to call the pitches?
We remember that.
Yeah, we remember that because we're old. Roger Staubach used to call his own plays.
Yeah.
But I'm with you.
Donnie with an update. The dog is at Charlemagne Elementary in the back parking lot. No name on the tag.
Somebody has it?
Come on, Baldwin. Go get your dog. It's over at the elementary school.
I'm going to send Brett a text right now.
And that color might have been green years ago. It's kind of faded now. Faded like the dreams of that dog. Poor dog.
Hard to spell that one. Charlemagne, not dog.
This just in. I'm so sick and tired of my friends who can't handle their alcohol. Last night, they dropped me 3 times while carrying me to the car.
Junior Sample says 4 more days till dove season. Is that it?
Yeah. Not in this zone, right? Down south. He goes down south. He's just bragging that he has the means to travel.
Jonathan Williams, just catching up, says the Shark Tank presenters get upticks in sales just by appearing on the show. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
No, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
That's Scrub. What's it called? Scrub Daddy?
Scrub Daddy?
Yeah, I got one.
I know.
It's supposed to be like the most successful thing they've ever put on there.
Caden's girlfriend was using it on Saturday night at Alan's birthday party.
There you go.
Was that the first time you'd ever met her?
That's the first time I ever spending time with her mother.
Okay. Still, that's impressive.
Yeah.
She
got in there and
gets
got
in there
kitchen.
and rolls the sleeves up and does the dishes.
There you go.
Good to know they know their spots so early in life.
But
I'm kidding.
Make me a pot pie from scratch. Peter McNally says 2 of the best rounds ever at the Players Championship. Did you see that?
I did not watch it. Here's the problem I have with golf. And I know this was the Tour Championship. But ever since the PGA went to this FedEx Cup, because whatever happened to the player that wins the most money at the end of the year is basically your PGA Tour champion, right? Why do you have to have a FedEx Cup and a bunch of playoffs? And I know what it is. It was to try to generate
money,
excitement, money, sponsorship through the season. They've gone to a 12-month schedule now. Everybody's a winner. basically since the PGA, and maybe I'm the anomaly here, but since the PGA Tour went to this FedEx Cup, I pretty much stopped watching golf after the British Open. That never used to be the case. I used to watch golf through now and maybe even a little bit into September, but not, I don't know. I can't do it anymore because it just seems like, if you're winning the money, if you're leading the money list in the PGA, you're the best player in the PGA. I don't need some playoffs generated at the end to tell me that you're the best player.
The names on this list, though, are the...
Oh, don't get me wrong.
They're the guns on the tour. Victor Hovland, Schauffele. I don't know this W. Clark. I don't know who Clark is. Rory McIlroy, Patrick Cantlay, Morikawa, Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood's really back. He's playing very good golf. Scotty Scheffler, Sam Burns.
Cody Bauman says the FedEx Cup's the reason he quit watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Hovland won $18 million, and Bree Small says some tournaments have larger payouts. Dollar count wouldn't work.
But B. Small, what I don't understand is why do you take a golf tournament? So you're a better player than me. To make the tournament fun,
is that what they did this one?
You give me a stroke aside because you're better than me. In this case, depending on where you ranked in whatever ranking they used, I guess probably money earned on the tour.
FedEx Cup points, probably.
There you go, FedEx Cup points.
Makes sense.
The guy who was the best going into the tournament started off the tournament at -10. They just gave him a 10-stroke lead on the field and then 9 on one on some, 10, 9, 8, or maybe 10, 8, 6. I don't know how they did it, how they handicapped it. But the best player starts off with a 10-stroke lead on the last player. I'm like, dude, that's a lot to make up.
Scott Tomko says some of my best naps came while watching golf.
Well, absolutely. That's like giving Mario Andretti 50 laps at Indianapolis and going, go catch him. And he's 85 years old.
B. Small says hockey does points too, right? Not sure how that works.
I don't either.
Don't conflate things. There, B. Small, not even the same.
Feed him his lunch.
Not even the same.
Folks, Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Let Allen be your go-to.
They might have to be my toe-to. Truck
They'll
didn't start this morning. Hopefully it's just the battery, and I don't need something more serious.
But
if
they
I
could
do,
come out and give
I
you a
will
jump,
call.
and then you could drive to insert battery store here, who should be advertising with Wade and Carter, because you'd get that instant recognition as being the place in town to go pick up a battery. So what we tell you is go to Atzenoffer. Atzenoffer.com. Since 1926, Atzenoffer is Victoria's dealer. They've got a battery for your car.
Darn right.
They will put it in there for you. Get by Atzenoffer today on North Navarro. On the Navarro Motor Mile, just down the road from higher prices.
Selling cars like candy bars.
Stacking them deep, selling them cheap.
If you don't buy it today, they'll be there tomorrow.
That's right. They don't really care. The VCS companies and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer.
Got to be what? Just weeks away from the new iPhone?
iPhone 15. It's coming.
It's got to be.
It's going to be great. The
Huge,
VEDC edition, it'll be out in 2027. Get by the VCS store. They will take care of you. Fantastic folks. Great family environment. Family friendly. Take your kids.
Chesnick Furniture Company.
Over 100
Don't
years.
take your kids.
Don't take your
But
kids.
you can buy kids' furniture there.
Mommy, can I eat my breakfast taco on the recliner while you talk to Mr. Leon? No, kid, you can't. Get up to the table.
But you can stand outside and eat it. Mom can watch you through the windows because
Right. You're right about the police station. What could go
what
wrong?
could go wrong? Nothing.
Chesnick Furniture. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get by today and see why Chesnick. You just always do better.
Always do better at Chesnick.
Veracruz, the best Mexican food in town, period.
And stop. Full
Open
stop.
on Monday, right across from Atzenoffer. Take your
see how
car,
this
take your
all works?
truck in while they're doing your battery.
Across the street.
Walk over to Veracruz. Be sure and toil on the median for a minute so as to not get hit. Tomorrow night, folks.
There's no guarantees.
Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Tomorrow night, Wade and Carter night. Tuesday night, early Tuesday night.
Yep.
It's okay. They're only going to serve you 2 beers. You're not going to be out late. Tuesday night, come make some money. We want to give out a special shout today. The Patriot Palooza being brought to you. It's first annual UHV Patriots Appreciation, Veterans Appreciation event. They're looking for sponsors.
I never like to label anything first annual just in case
It doesn't happen
again, but it's the first one, and hopefully it'll become an annual.
How about
there you
inaugural?
Go.
The
Nicely
inaugural
done.
Patriot Palooza. I think that means there's going to be showgirls. I don't know.
I don't know.
You can reach out to Kelsey Norgard.
90s alternative bands?
Right. Hair shaking. Reach out to Kelsey Norgard. Here's the number. 570-4869. That's good bingo. 570-4869.
Daniel Wade White, who is a veteran as well, big into putting this thing on and this together. So they're still got some sponsorship opportunities available as well. It'll all take place on Friday, November 10th at UHV. So give them a call.
There you go.
I believe the money is going to help fund some scholarships, right?
Yes, it says, help us thank our veterans for protecting this great nation we call home. There you have it. They're looking for sponsors, Medal of Honor, silver. It goes $5,000. The $5,000 get you 8 tickets, a back rub, 2 table dances. What else? Not really. 8 tickets.
Adam Sugar asked, what is a Patriot Palooza? Daniel Wade White, give us a call, 361-894-4020, and help the folks listening.
Yeah, the speaker's going to mention you by name. 5,000, 2,500, 1,000, 500, 250 for the tables. Adam Sugar says, what's a Patriot Palooza? Well,
that's why I've asked Daniel Wade White to call, because he can tell us what a Patriot Palooza is.
If he calls, we can answer.
It's a fancy word for party, basically.
Yeah, come on. Something they tried to make rhyme.
It's catchy.
Anybody
got a jingle?
There you go. That's how we do it like that. We say, do it, happens.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wade and Carter.
Hey, this is Danny White.
Hey, Danny, how are you, sir?
Danny White, man, you were number 11 for the Cowboys. Loved you back in the day.
I was.
You kicked and punted. Came out of BYU, if I recall. No,
Arizona State.
Arizona State. That's right.
Yep, something like that.
How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Tell us about the Patriot Palooza. Where is it?
Well, so, I'm a professor over there at UHV, and I noticed that we weren't doing anything fun for our veterans, so I wanted to throw a party for our veterans. And I figured I wanted to make it as free as possible for our veteran students, staff, faculty. I even want to get the PC, veterans, student, staff, faculty over just to get together and, have a veterans party. So we figured the best way to make it free is to try to find other people to pay for it. And
you sound like a Democrat.
Sometimes, but not really. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a party. It's going to be November 10th from 6 to 8. There's going to be beverages. There's going to be finger foods. It's going to be at the UHV, our new STEM building. It'll be a blast.
Some of the details still being worked out. You're going to have live music and all that sort of stuff too?
At the inaugural one, I built this thing up in my head. At the inaugural one, we're going to kind of play it low key. We didn't know how it was going to turn out. We don't know what, how many people are going to show up. Or
get your tickets to see the Eagles at the Patriot Palooza.
To come out and sing for us or something. But I don't know. We're playing it by ear almost because it was an idea that has just taken off.
We could do karaoke.
Only if you think.
It'll be fun. No, we're looking forward to it. We'll be promoting it as we go along as well. So thank you for Tommy Jost brought this by this morning. We're excited to be a part of it. And hats off to you, sir, for thinking about our veterans and
for being a veteran.
Thank you for your service. And always stay in touch, and thank you for giving us a ring this morning.
Oh yeah, man, I appreciate y'all spreading the word.
We got it. Go get them and have a good day. Hey, go easy on those kids. Give them a walk.
First day of classes today. What are you expecting?
A walk. Give them a walk.
I'm gonna go slap a bunch of kids in the back of the head.
There you go. There you go. Welcome to college.
That's right.
Be safe.
It's all downhill from today on. Danny White, UHV professor of biology, great guy, and checks into the show regularly. We appreciate it. And
you got to know the sarcasm
Patriot
of B.
Palooza.
Small there. I said Danny White, he goes, great punter. Yeah. That was his way of saying not so much of a quarterback. Although he was pretty good. They had some big numbers. They played pretty well.
I mean, let's be honest. Anybody that came after Roger Staubach was going to be in trouble.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
Unless it was Quincy Carter. Boy, he was a good one.
Just ask everybody who came after Troy Aikman. Till Romo came along. David Glass, good morning.
Who's better in your mind, Romo or Aikman?
Aikman.
I agree.
Aikman, I mean, the numbers may not show it in the regular season.
Stats aside, who was a better player?
But he certainly didn't seem to screw up in big moments like Romo.
I'll never forget that dropped that dropped extra point. What was he even doing out there?
I don't know. Wasn't he the usual guy?
Yeah, but that was just
Shouldn't
dumb.
have been. Why didn't the punter?
That's why they fired Tom Landry.
Scott Tomquist. He was more hated.
Yeah, no, they
Romo
love
or Aikman.
They love Aikman. Aikman's a star.
Yeah, absolutely. See what happens when the NFL kicks off.
We already decided. We're 11-7.
That's what we think. Texans, what, 6 wins, 7 wins? Somewhere in there.
No, Marvin said yesterday he thinks they go 8-9. No? They look
six or 7 wins for me, and that's double what they won last year. So that's you're heading on the right path. There's still a few pieces short of getting to 500 and even sniffing playoffs.
Playoffs? We're talking playoffs?
Adam Sugar says, wait a second, that was the actual Danny White? It was a Danny White, the actual Danny White. Not sure which actual Danny White you're referring to, but
It's
that
the
was
real
Danny
Slim
White.
Shady. He's the real Slim Shady. Please
Sam.
stand up.
So, sad news over the weekend. At one time, I aspired to replace this gentleman.
I believe you probably did. Our survey says you would be better on Family Feud.
No, I like watching that big wheel spin. Bob Barker passed on the weekend, 99 years old. Somebody said he didn't get to 100, did not go over.
Right. He had a great life. Bob Barker, every time that I hear the name Bob Barker, I always think of him and Happy Gilmore.
The price is wrong.
Because you don't want none of me, old man. Oh, you're right. I want the whole thing, and just proceeded to beat up Adam Sandler. Playing against type, little Leslie Nielsen type humor.
Yeah.
Bob Barker, always a gentleman, always a good guy. One of the most beloved people. Pat Sajak looked up to Bob Barker and not vice versa. Bob Barker was a great, great game show host.
Technically, he did too, because Bob was like,
tall.
6'2", and
Yeah.
Pat's just a little guy.
Brent Anderson says Ash should have taken over the Gong Show. Yeah, that's a lot of truth in that.
There was no longevity in the Gong Show, though. Even I could see that back.
Well,
in
once
the day.
it wasn't his cover anymore, he didn't care.
No, and now it's basically been replaced
America's
by
Got Talent.
America's Got Talent, which is terrible.
You know what though? There are some talented people in the world. I mean,
With some weird talents.
Yeah, but the people that sing, and you know what? What are the odds? And I'm. This is just totally impromptu, so just bear with me. But
The whole show's like that. Why would this be
well,
any different?
because this could be bad. No, but you look at depending on your appetite, you look at Faith
Rick
Hill.
Baldwin's dog is home.
Good. You look at Faith. Glad we could help. Send money, please. You look
Don't forget
at
to spay and neuter your pets.
Faith Hill. You look especially to me at like Martina McBride. You look at a Carrie Underwood. These women, and for you ladies, I mean, maybe Kenny Chesney does it for you, maybe Tim McGraw, I don't know. But on the female side, it's unfortunate that chances are better. I mean, that Jason Aldean, he ain't nobody to look at. But if you're a female country singer, chances are you check all the boxes. You're going to be super good looking, beautiful straight white teeth, yada, 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 the whole gig, great body. The fact that all of that ends up in one package like a Carrie Underwood blows my mind. Now, what America's Got Talent
Because look
has
at Kelly
done,
Clarkson's career.
She would,
Right?
with
when
those
she was
pipes,
when she was attractive,
oh,
skinnier.
Now she's built like a mushroom.
When the music industry thought she was
Marketable.
what they needed and marketable, great career. Then she kind of overeats a little bit, has some issues. Now she's on daytime TV.
She's sponsored
trying to be
by,
the next Oprah.
Yeah, she's sponsored by, some buffet somewhere, and she does daytime TV.
Probably making more money and sleeping home at nights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better deal for her. Absolutely. But my point is,
correct. Your point is,
if you're not, there's very few Adeles out there that
Amen.
can overcome what
Either being
the
unattractive
industry
or unmarketable.
doesn't perceive you as being attractive, which usually means skinny.
yeah,
right?
Because TV adds weight. You can never be too thin. Yada yada yada. But you look at America's Got Talent, and they are more equal opportunity. If you've got the voice, they will put you on the stage, and you especially see it with a lot of the R&B stuff, both men and female. I mean, men and women are a lot of times bigger because you need that to be able to push those kinds of notes around.
Well, and the voice was kind of like that, right? Till they turned their chairs, they had no clue. What they should have done is just had them all sing in the dark, pitch black, and nobody gets revealed.
That's boring
to
TV.
to us until the end.
Do not adjust your set. Don't adjust your set. It just screen's black. See, Ash was made for radio, folks. The screen's just black. And then it's like, oh, there she is when the song's over.
Well, because even though it's a TV show and they try to call it The Voice, it was never about The Voice. Let's be honest.
No, it was always
It was the whole package because you at home also had a chance to vote for these folks, right? If it was purely about The Voice, they would have sang behind a closet or a curtain or something that you wouldn't see them until the end of it.
Remember that girl and her husband? She later died of cancer. They were really good. The girl and her husband. He wore the coveralls. Yeah, somebody will know. Sammy and JoJo, whatever it was called. I don't know. Somebody will know. But she did. They were really good and kind of folk singer type country. But they were a married couple. They were like Chip and Joanna with guitars. And then she recently, or a couple of years ago, died of cancer. So, what do you got there?
I'm just Brett Baldwin. Thanked us for his help. He heard us talk about the dog being at Shalimar. And
there you go, Brett. We got you, baby.
Yeah. So glad he's home. Collar's still intact. The tags were gone.
There you go. Thank you, Jennifer.
Rory and something.
Rory and something.
Close. So both of you are
now it's Rory and. Yes. So there you go.
Wife number 2.
There you go. I wasn't going to say it, but I
just advised Brett Baldwin to go get his dog microchipped.
So if you're Rory, do you interview? Do you do your own version of the voice? Like, hey, you're cute. You're nice. You want to have dinner? Can you sing? Because I've got a gig. I got to keep going. Oh. You could be my next Darren. Right.
On Bewitched. Junior Samples asks, where is Susan Boyle? Yeah, she was one in England on that show, right? Was it their version of The Voice?
I don't know. What about Laura Flynn Boyle? You remember her?
Yeah.
She dated Jack Nicholson for a while.
She was weird.
She was weird. Of course, Jack's not,
exactly.
not really that normal.
No.
Speaking of normal, we got to get back on our normal route and do a quick little, one of those. Yep. Palace Bingo, folks. We already told you tomorrow night. Great Barn Mercantile.
Open today.
10-ish.
Cheryl will be there, 10 o'clock.
She can get a ride.
All true story.
10 o'clock, Cheryl will be there.
Pick her up and get her there now.
Uber.
She's got a great set of...
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
As soon as it left my mouth.
They are nice, though. They're nice.
Leather chairs. There's 2 of them.
Chairs. Okay.
One on each side.
They're right like that.
They're leather chairs, and they're a complimentary set.
They are.
Get over to the Gray Barn, and they're on sale.
Practically free. Nothing like, get on by and pick up Cheryl's Perky set. Not Percocet. That would be a controlled substance. Can we go back and do some more? We're in trouble with Cheryl already. Don't get away from
You're in
commercial.
trouble. I'm not.
AJ's
you
detailing.
Took it a step. I wasn't taking it.
Well, that's what makes the show funny. AJ's detailing.
You got leather interior of your vehicle? AJ will make it look new.
Get by there, and we're done, folks. It's over.
It's over.
Get over to AJ's. Check it out on Facebook. AJ's Detailing. You'll love it. Armor Air 579.
Are you going to have to give him a call, or do
I don't
regulate?
Think so. No? I had ice hanging from the kitchen. Now the drip in the sink has an icicle. Call Armor Air 579-0966. Let them come out and check your system. Tell you what, if it's these dog days, when it's this hot, Armor Air is there to help you. And then the chopping block. I don't know what Monday is. It's probably Meatloaf Monday. But they're back open today, just inside the loop on Navarro, up there on the right, kind of just south of Cimarron by the car wash. You know, right there where that Miller Lite can is on the side of the road. Right there.
Right there.
Pull in
Turn
there.
in there, get it. Yep.
Great meats, great food, great eats. White Trash Services, 550-1826. Let White Trash be your weekly emergency dumpster, white trash site services.
They can do it all.
They can do it all, and they do it all for so many in the 6 contiguous counties and Victoria County and Karnes City and Kennedy and Las Vegas, Nevada, and parts of Reno.
Lake McQueeney.
USA Concrete Coating, 578 Home. I saw last night both these next two folks, Went Services and USA Concrete Coating, advertising on the Cowboys game. They advertised with us first. Reach out to Charlie Garcia. Get your drab slab in line. Reach out to Went Services for all your generator needs. Turnkey generator. Under $6,000 plus installation. You've got one number to call, one master plumber, one electrician. They'll come out and turnkey that job for you. What did Scott Tomko say? It's always good.
I set him up, you knock him down.
There you go.
Adam Sugar says, thank you guys for not talking about my girl, Miranda Lambert.
You know, Miranda's okay, but Miranda's like, she's the trashy side of it. You know, she's the trailer park side. She's the approachable. Like, you could walk up to Miranda and go, how about a beer? And she'd go, how about a case? Get on the bus. You know?
Congrats, Adam Sugar. The family just added one.
You know, I saw them last week, and she looks like she's still 19 years old. And I thought, I was going to say, did I hear y'all were having another one? And I just
had
didn't.
Another one.
I know, but I didn't want to, I just didn't want to any more than I normally step on my tongue. I thought, okay, I'll just say hi. I just waved. Him and his brother are having a competition.
I think so. They're going to have the biggest family.
Yeah, Team Sugar.
Yeah. First one to 9 wins.
Right.
Scott Tomko says, speaking of nines, Needville ran out of gas this weekend. Y'all lost to California. How do you beat them once in the round robin, then you only lose once and you're out of the tournament? That makes no sense to me. When everybody else is a double elimination deal, right?
Never understood that. If you're going now, because at the NCAA level, College World Series, you have a double elimination. If you go through the bracket undefeated, the team that gets there has to beat you twice.
Yep.
I don't understand how they just decided, well, this is the championship game.
California rule, maybe.
California, I don't know. So they beat California on the way to the championship game and waited on them. California goes through the bracket, ends up over there. California
with one
beats
loss
them,
to Texas.
Yeah. But hats off to the kids in Needville. I don't know if you've been to Needville. I don't know how they found 9 players in Needville.
There's a lot of good baseball played in Needville, to be honest.
You.
There's some kids over there that can play. I'm sure it says we're setting ourselves up to advertise for Dr. New.
Right. That's great stuff.
But getting back to his Miranda Lambert comment there, and my wife went to see Miranda. She likes Miranda. To me, Carrie Underwood and Miranda Lambert are basically insert Carrie or Miranda here. And it's all that revengeful girl done wrong, gonna get get right. And it's all got the same sound to it. Every single one.
Is it like the Luke Bryan effect?
Kind of a little
They've
bit.
got their he'll think about it before he cheats, and that was a song to Tony Romo, I think.
I'm not sure.
People claim.
I don't know that she wrote it. That's Taylor Swift material there.
Taylor Swift has become her own industry. She's worth about $1 billion.
She's worth about as much as the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Tony Romo.
Wow. She's single.
Crazy. Perpetually, because otherwise she'd run out of material for writing songs.
Right.
It's all she does is write songs for her boyfriends, or about her boyfriends. It's a true story. Let's see what else is going on. United Auto Workers, 97% of their members going to vote to authorize strikes at GM and Ford and Stellantis. Is this just as President Biden touts up the unions he's so favorable for in a time of high inflation? We're all paying more.
Adam
Now they're going to go to work.
If Blake left you for the No Doubt girl, you'd be singing Crazy Ex-Girlfriend songs too. Yeah, what's her name?
Gwen Stefani?
Yeah, well, she's like 65 years old.
Not that old.
She's older than him.
Hotter than Miranda Lambert.
Well, no doubt about it. Has that weight under control. I just think about Taylor Swift. I don't know why I thought she breaks up. She's like, it's so little, so itty bitty. I mean, she just could dog you in a song, you know.
She does, though.
And it was quick on top of that. She could just wear you out. Man. Any truth that song's about Brent? No, it's just coincidence.
It's coincidence.
Wow.
Her song to you would be more like, he was my stalker. My only stalker. I couldn't shake him if I tried.
Man, with Donnie's Facebook, following, I've got to be good. She could ruin me in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. But I've got the photos. Right. It's all good, folks.
It is. Brother Man just poked his head in.
Brother Man, you need to stay tuned today. The band is back together. The Brother Man and the Hall of Famer, Ralph Salazar, will be next door here at Magic 95.9, the mothership. And it's always a good show, always an entertaining show. They only do an hour, but they do also all kinds of, old rock and roll. It's not all Tejano music.
No,
they do a great
They play a little
mix.
bit of everything.
It's a very good mix.
Tropical storm bearing down on the panhandle, the armpit of Florida, as many call that.
The armpit of Florida. They got some sports too.
Might be a Cat 3 by the time it makes landfall down, they're saying.
Are you hearing anything about this storm they say is going to become Hurricane Idalia? Is that it?
That's the one.
But they're saying that we might get some rain off that.
I don't think so.
I need some rain. Whatever happened to just a good old-fashioned storm going into New Orleans? They're ready for it.
Slight chance of
Right.
rain this afternoon, but I doubt we're going to see anything.
Little cat, what is that?
I don't know. I'm trying to open up my weather app, and
Sure you are. A little Cat 3 goes
AI character generator. That's what that turned out to be an ad for.
I saw one the other day. It said, here's what AI says everybody looks like in each state. So picture in New Mexico, you could see a Native American influence. It wasn't stereotypical. It was, but I'll tell you what I noticed, and it didn't. I mean, it doesn't trouble me, but I was perusing it in curiosity. There were only in the whole deal, there were only a dozen, maybe 11 black folks at all in the whole. They did a man and a woman from each state, except Texas only had one guy. It was a cowboy. He had a hat on. But they only did 11 black people, and only one of those couples was a black man and woman. The rest were either, not that this is atypical, but they were either interracial or they were single, lone black men. And the other thing I thought was interesting was in all the pictures, Brother G, the man looked older than the woman, and the woman was decidedly more attractive than the man. The man looked like Don Knotts.
The man had money.
Yeah, that's right. It's a little close to home. Except I don't have any money. We love you, Brother G. Peter McNally asked, keeping with the show, are Japanese auto workers unionized?
I don't know. I don't care, to be honest. I really don't.
Well, where did that come from?
Well, because I brought up the fact that the union auto workers, United Auto Workers, have voted to strike.
Oh, the United Auto Workers.
Because their sense of timing is so great.
Yeah, they're terrible.
We're paying record prices for automobiles.
Yeah.
Supply chains have been... The unions hammered on the supply chain being broken in the wake of getting back to life after all the COVID restrictions. Well, China's still holding all our parts, right? Now they're going to go on strike and add to this. They don't care.
No, they don't. They're out of
care.
touch with the American public, but they've always been that way. They always strike at the worst times. And the idea that in this era that a union needs to strike, the idea that you need to be like a petulant child, grouped together in a corner and say, if you don't acquiesce to what we want, we're all just going to walk off. And what are you going to do then? Well, I can take you back in my heart. Some air traffic controllers tried that with Ronald Reagan. He said, well, pack your bags and get out of my airports. Now, that won't work in the auto industry, and that ought to be a two-way street, right? I ought to try to help you as much as I can, and you ought to be...
And don't get me wrong, the auto industry is also to blame for always kowtowing to the demands of the auto workers.
No doubt.
Because as long as they found a way to make the profits, they weren't going to change.
And they'll just pass it on to us. That's what nobody gets. Yeah, they'll get whatever concession they want. And they'll pass it on to us.
And then eventually, when the time comes, the government will bail them out.
And it's that deal. Well, a car costs $100,000. Why shouldn't we make $80 an hour? Well, it costs $100,000 because you make $75 an hour now.
Exactly.
For watching a robot do the work and tightening up some lug nuts. Lug nut. Anyway, have a great day, folks. It is a
Top of
Monday.
the hour.
And you cannot win the week if you don't win Monday. Go